Okay guys, this is a big one that I've been wanting to do a video on. There's 3 different modes when you're working kind of in fashion, and when I'm speaking at classrooms or in crowds in general, there's all of these 3 people will be in the crowd, so to speak. So there's working in the industry, there's freelancing, and there's owning your own brand, owning your own business. When I was kind of thinking about my thoughts about this subject, it's weird because I've actually done all 3 of them. Each 3 of these is its own discipline on its own. So we have working in the industry. That arguably is like the most no-brainer. It's finding your experience in whatever work setting that is for fashion. And I highly recommend it. If you want to work in the industry or you do have the dream of having your own brand, it's really smart to work at a company and get your hands dirty and see what that's like. Also, for people who are not sure where they want to lie eventually, I think it's good to get into a company and start seeing, meeting, and working with people that are doing different things so that you can see maybe where you might fit. You might see a job that's perfect for you or along a better direction for your set of skills. Now, every place you work at is going to have politics, especially something cool like working in fashion is definitely going to have its set of politics. For me personally, I was actually offered the opportunity to start a t-shirt line with a partner way back in 2000, and I knew at the time I didn't know enough, so I literally told that person thank you, but I knew I wanted to work in the industry for at least 5, 6, 7, 10 years before I thought about having my own company. So the second thing I want to talk about is freelancing. Freelancing is very difficult for a lot of different reasons, especially for artists. There's definitely a bookkeeping, logistical, and negotiating side of it that I feel is tough for artists and student artists sometimes. That's why there's so many stories of getting burned. Communication in an artistic field is really difficult, especially when you're trying to deliver kind of a creation or a vision of another person. I think my first big project was like in 2005, when not logos but real meaty freelance, something really big. And even now I'm still having difficulties with communication with clients. I'm talking about in 2013, like last month, or in the last 2 months, I've had clients that we weren't quite on the same page, and so I'm still learning now a lot of standards that you need to keep or create in terms of making sure there's civil discussion, especially when you can't see their vision, or maybe they didn't communicate it correctly, or maybe you're not communicating to them correctly. So freelancing is tough, but it also requires a whole lot of hustle in terms of continuing to get clients in. Now, the third part is obvious, and a lot of people that are watching my channel want to start their own brands. And it's quite literally the opposite of working at a company. When you work at a company, you come in 9 to 5, you get your benefits, or you don't have benefits, but you know, generally speaking, what you're supposed to do. That schedule is set for you. You have X amount of holidays off, you go to happy hour on Friday because you had such a long week. Owning your own brand, obviously you're a small business owner, it requires a lot of muscles that the other 2 do not use. There's bookkeeping, there's production, for some of you there's design as well. I mean, you're doing all the marketing, you're doing all the social media, you're doing basically everything I speak about on my channel are some of the different disciplines that it requires to have your own brand. It can be the most rewarding, and for some people it is their main dream or their main outlet for being in fashion. Is their main dream at all. I'm going to do separate videos on each of these 3 subjects, and when I do those videos, I'll put a link to it below now. I just kind of wanted to do a video saying each 3 of these is its own discipline. So you have to realize you have to get into that mode. When I speak in fashion schools or art schools or whatever classroom or club or affiliation, any group of people that want to be in fashion to have their own brand, I just want to highlight that there's freelance and there's working in the industry. If you are a student, typically you're going to come work into the industry because you got to pay off that tuition, and then work your way into figuring out what you want to do. I feel like a lot of people that own their own brands feel this urgency to do it so quickly, and I think it's much better when you have a long-term plan. It shows a little bit more seriousness, and that's not to take away any of your passion or drive. It's just like, you know, that old saying that fools rush in. Be mindful of that. Like, going from working for someone to freelancing, there's a whole set of different rules and things that need to go down when you're doing those business deals. And going from freelancing or consulting to owning your own brand, that's a whole nother ball game as well. So just think about that mindset and think about what type of person you would need to become in order to be successful in any one of those disciplines. Hope that helps. That's another one in the books. Thank you guys for watching. You have comments, anything, drop them down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.